Before I start this show, it's time to come to a decision of myself and maybe for you guys that play Fallout 76. Is it time for you to go back into the vault and maybe move on from Fallout 76? I'll let you think about that. And as you're thinking about that, come hear my opinion on it. Let's start the show. And welcome to the In-Game Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Evans, a.k.a. your In-Game Boss, a.k.a. your retro activist. And thank you so much for making the time to listen to this episode. Our last episode was fun. We talked about Batman Beyond and Kingdom Hearts with Andrew Rose. Please check out that episode. And today's episode is going to be pretty short. Hopefully on the next episode I will have another great guest coming through. I don't want to spoil who it is, but it'll be a fun episode to have him on the show. And you know, it's been an interesting week. I've been just going through some games, trying out some new games, going through some old games, hopefully working on some future projects that I don't want to reveal yet, but we have some surprises coming through and everything like that. I did some Twitch game playing with John Robles from Area 44. Shout out to John Robles. I've been just kind of chatting and just trying to get the network going and everything like that. So let's go ahead and get into the update in the news. So updates. So on the updates of our show, there's a bunch of new projects that we're working on. Some are going to be revealed in February and some are going to reveal in March. So just to kind of give you an update what's going on, this Thursday, as you're listening to this, that is set on January 31st, will be the very last episode of the Gaming Halls of Rivalries that I do with Criticism. It's been a hell of a voyage. We had started that podcast back in June. And within the 6 months that we had a great voyage just learning about a lot of these gaming characters. And for people that are listening to the show for the first time, Gaming Halls Rivalries is a show where we pin two characters together and we talk about what makes them rival each other in the gaming industry and how they influence. So basically what we do is we take a character that like reigns supreme in the gaming and we find someone that rivals them and then we talk about how they rival each other. For example, we have like Dr. Robotnik and Bowser, we have Mario and Sonic, we have Princess Peach and Princess Zelda, we have Lara Croft and Nathan Drake, we have Metroid and Master Chief. But the last episode we're going to be talking about is the one that really split the gaming community in half on these two particular characters. And more than that, the games that they came from. So definitely check it out. It's going to be a wonderful episode. It's our very last one. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. And if that's your first time hearing that show, you're welcome to jump anywhere in that series. You can jump at the beginning, you can jump in the middle, you can jump anywhere, whatever comes to you. Just go with it. And then if you enjoy that, just continue from there. Bond Never Dies. So Bond, actually for this next Monday coming up, Bond Never Dies will not be having a new episode. Due to some situations of audio and stuff like that, I won't be able to air that episode. So that will be pushed back to part 3 of that series that me and Travis Hanna host. And we're going to be coming back into the booth to record more episodes to have that ready to continue later on this year. My goal is to have it out before April, hopefully. But we'll see what goes from there. For people that don't know what Bond Never Dies is, basically we are revisiting all the James Bond films and we talk you through the whole what goes on through the whole movie, and then sometimes we'll stop and like kind of talk and analyze stuff and just discuss our opinions on certain things and everything like that. And part 1 was the Sean Connery's, part 2 was the Roger Moore, and now we're going into part 3, which is 2 Bonds that we'll be going through, the Timothy McDalton and the Pierce Brosnan. So definitely be ready for that. And all those episodes, the Roger Moore and the Sean Connery, are all out. So you can always check those shows out. And remember, you can check all our shows out on Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, and of course Podbean. And we're looking to find more sources so you can have more places to listen to the In-Game Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows. Other shows that are coming up is a new show that just premiered last week that I do with Nam Tran called Back to the Future. And the way that show works is Nam and I are big movie people. We love movies. We talk about movies. And we've been trying to work on a podcast idea for quite a while now. So in this particular one, we're discussing movies that we personally pick and watch and talk about them. But the kicker is each episode, we're deciding which movie we're going to pick for each decade through the movie. So, our first episode you probably heard is called Once Bitten, and that was an 80s film. So the next episode 2, will be about a movie in the 90s, and then the 00s, then the 10s, and then that goes all, then we start back to the 70s and back, which that's its own category, and then we go right back to the 80s, and then the cycle turns. And the reason we call it Back to the Future is because we're going back to revisit some films that we either haven't seen before or some films that we haven't watched in a very long time, some movies that we just forgot that we watch. So this is a great experience for personally Nam and I to go revisit those and discuss about that. So at the beginning of every episode, you will hear a trailer, and then we talk about that trailer, then we take a break, and then we talk about the movie that we just saw. So, be ready for that, spoiler alert. But you're more than welcome to listen to the show, even if you haven't seen the movie. If you just want to be curious of what it's about. And if you end up liking what you heard, then maybe stop it halfway and go watch the movie, then come back, And that's basically it for the update. But I want to say that I want to thank everybody that's been helping, supporting the show and everything like that. I'm trying to work really hard on giving this network a big content. My goal is to basically just keep pushing, giving you guys great content, just try to do new ideas, push myself. But mainly this is a personal project for me to do the things that I wanted to do. I always talk to my friends and tell them, like, I want to do this kind of show. I want to do this kind of show. And I was actually messaging that on Facebook and whatnot, and I get comments of like, man, you just want to do a podcast of everything. I was like, yeah, I guess it might be true, because like I'll see an idea and I'm like, man, I want to do that. And so I tried to keep that in mind, write it down, and put that into my little archives in my mind, and when the time is right, then bring it out to put it out. And definitely shout out to Richard Taplin from the AOS podcast, along with his brother. Sorry, I can't believe his name is going blank. Tony is his name. His brother Tony, and we've been trying to work on some projects together. We've been trying to work on this war game room that we want to put out. You can actually listen to that show, those war rooms, on his network. You can listen on his podcast, Twitch, and all that stuff. So, for video content and stuff like that, I am trying to work on bringing content to YouTube, some ideas that I have, gameplay content and stuff like that. So hopefully that will work out. But right now there is personal goals that, not the network, but personal goals in my life that I'm trying to proceed. So that is a balance along with this network. So just bear with me and just show your support. And, if you have any questions, comments, please email me at ingameoffice@gmail.com. Talk to me on Twitter, RetroAm07, Facebook, all this stuff. Tell me how I'm doing. Tell me how I'm doing. If I'm doing good, I'm doing bad. Ask me questions. Don't be afraid to come talk to me. I'll do the best I can to answer you back. But like a human, I'm only one human on this network. So my goal is to make sure that I am balancing myself in the show, not being overworked and all that stuff. Now, with that being done, let's talk about some news. So heartbreaking news. If you are a Metroid fan like I am, and probably a lot of people are, a series that has a huge following, but money-wise, it doesn't bring a lot of money in, and that's why Metroid comes out, once in a blue moon per se. I think there's been almost one for each generation console Nintendo has put out, except for the N64 era. So, but Metroid 4, when it got announced back in 2016, I want to say, it was something of a big hype, but honestly, I didn't see it was going to be Metroid Prime 4. I thought it was just going to be just a Metroid game. I didn't think Prime. I thought Prime was going to be a trilogy, and you move on. And then you had Other M, which Other M was a game that didn't quite get a lot of good comments and all that stuff. Honestly, it's kind of a guilty pleasure. I actually like Other M. I think Other M had a lot of potential. The problem is that there were some ideas in there that they could take away. Because I think, honestly, Metroid Other M, if they revamp the controllers traditionally and just fix some of the little stuff of that game would be really, really good right now on the Switch to me. The action is really good. The gameplay, I actually enjoyed the gameplay and all that stuff. So, if you're a Metroid Other M fan, or you think that I'm wrong or anything like that, give me a message. But other than that, I think Other M has potential. I think it could be redone, revamped, fix some things that are wrong with it, and just bring it right back out and give it another retry. But out of all the Metroid games, most people are going to tell you probably Super Metroid is their favorite Metroid game out of all of them. Personally, for me, Metroid Prime is the personal favorite of mine. And it's my favorite because it was a game I never... First of all, I didn't think of it as a Metroid game at first. I just love how the gameplay mechanics work and all that stuff. And then that got me into that world of Metroid, because from there, that's when I started dipping in playing Super Metroid, the one on the Game Boy, the remake on the Game Boy Advance, which is superior to the original one. I would definitely play that over the original one anytime. And Metroid Prime was a first-person shooter with like great platforming. Nintendo managed to, more like Retro actually. Retro Studio and Nintendo managed to really do a good job of breaking that, because like Nintendo never really did a lot of first-person games, if you really think about it. I mean, I personally haven't seen a lot of first-person games coming out of Nintendo that much, and most of the time it's mostly platforms or other stuff that is not FPS. But where I'm getting at is, you probably already heard the news. If you haven't, then hopefully this will be good and bad. But a couple days ago, the senior managing executive officer at Nintendo, Shinya Takahashi, put out a personal video talking about the state of Metroid Prime 4 that was announced. And he was talking about that Metroid Prime 4, since it's been in development since their announcement, has not been going the way they want it to go. It's not reaching to their standards of what they're looking for. So, and we don't know who the studio that was working on it before, but we know that it wasn't Retro, and a lot of people were wanting Retro to do it and all this stuff. Well, now that answer is going to be, that prayer is going to be answered, because the fact that now, first of all, they basically kind of put it kind of sounds like they canceled it, but now they're remaking it, right? Because the fact that they said that we are going to start from the very beginning, we're going to restart this game. So basically, that personal project of Metroid is probably gone, and they're restarting from scratch. So it drives me kind of curious to figure out, what did that game look like, and if we're ever going to see like a behind the scenes later on in our lives of that. Nintendo's really not the ones that kind of like throwing footage that just didn't make the their goals or their standards. So we'll probably never ever see what that Project Metroid is. But Retro Studios is now back into this, and to a lot of fans, for two reasons, two great things. One, people like Retro Studios. If you're not a Donkey Kong Country fan, that's fine. But the Donkey Kong Country series itself, for people, are really good. The Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, I thought they were pretty good, excellent platformer games, and I personally liked them a lot. And I like the Donkey Kong series. But if you're jumping into Donkey Kong Country for the first time, these are great entries to start in, because they were just really fun. It's very arcade-ish and fun. Retro's really good at making their games very arcade-ish kind of, but very fun. And that's why I kind of like Metroid Prime. I thought that was a really good way how they kind of spin it around. So it's great that Retro's coming in. But the other concern is that now we're at a Retro Studios where they haven't touched a Metroid game in question mark. And well, for years, you could probably do the math. But to me, I'm not thinking. So question mark. And from there, most of those people were there from that project or not really there that much. Now, there's some people that have been around still. I mean, maybe there was during the report that I read from like IGN. I don't know all the names, but there were some people that's still around. But like a lot of them, like the main core people that started from like the very beginning, they're slowly kind of left and everything like that. But I still believe there's hope for Retro Studios to do this because there's still people that know that map work, that platform style of Metroid. So I really have good faith that this project is probably going to work out for them. And the other part I was going to mention is Nintendo did something kind of unexpected. A lot of people didn't see coming. They put out a video to talk about it, right? And the video is about 3 to 4 minutes. And they just talked about, what, not so much in details of what happened, but like I just before, they didn't meet their standards. They're restarting. They're going to work with Retro. And it was a good idea because the fact that they avoid people hammering them, when is this game going to come out? Because the prediction was Metroid was going to come out this year because Nintendo hasn't really announced any big other flagships coming out other than Animal Crossing. So the question is now, with this restart, how long is it going to be before this game comes out? Well, we don't know. It could be a 2021. We don't know. But we know that now this game is kind of going in a track that makes us very thrilled. And it was really good for Nintendo to come out and put this out right now because it shows them that, Nintendo cares enough to let you guys know that we made this mistake and we don't want to have you guys waiting for several years. And we made this announcement too early, and it sucks in a weird way, right? Because I think they were on the process of making this game happen. It's just somewhere was a bumpy road. I think they were going to get this game out, and so was it bad for them to announce it? I don't think it was too bad. I mean, now we're looking at it as like maybe you guys did it too early, because most gamers, like when you announce a game, they want it to be out probably within the 1 or 2 years. And that's what Metroid was going to be. It was coming into the second year to come out for this. So, but all I care about is the fact that they came out, they did a good job kind of explaining it. So now our hype and our worries are kind of lowered a little bit. We're more calm as gamers to see this game kind of now it's getting restarted. Hopefully it's in the right hands again. They're going to make this game great again. And we're going to get a fantastic Metroid Prime 4. And so, but part of me too wish that we would get a new Metroid also. Like maybe there's half of people out there that are like, maybe Metroid Prime 4 could have been just another Metroid game, another journey for Samus to go on and not really touch the Prime, and maybe and ruin that. I'm not fully sure, but other than that, that's it for the news wise. That's probably only the biggest news that has happened. And so, but I'm very hyped for a very long time for a new Metroid to come. And hopefully this game will wow us when it comes out and it will just, meet our expectations for it when it comes out. And hopefully we know we're going to get a new trailer, but I will say two things about this. One, maybe a Metroid Prime trilogy should come for the Switch. That'd be a great way to hold us over until it happens. And two, if you guys, next time you guys throw out another Metroid announcement, it has to come with gameplay. There's no excuse. You have to give us gameplay now. My golden rule is when you show a teaser, the next video you have to show us has to be gameplay. That's just the way I look at it. If you show gameplay first, awesome. That's a great on your part. But a teaser, the next video or announcement or anything you show us has to be gameplay video so we can actually see with our eyes, do we think this game, in our opinion, is going on the right track? And so let's take a break, and we come back. I'm gonna talk about, should I stay in the vault in Fallout 76 and maybe move on from Fallout and continue with something else. We'll be right back. Hi. If you love video games and you love video game icons or characters, then please walk down the gaming halls of rivalries with us as we go through two iconic characters that rival each other in the gaming industry. Gaming characters like Mario and Sonic,
or Lara Croft and Nathan Drake,
or like Dante and Bayonetta,
and Master Chief and Samus.
If you enjoy these characters, then please visit the Gaming Halls of Rivalries as part of the in-game boss program and enjoy fun information and fun stories and the future of these characters. Thank you.
I'm your Dream City Saint Nom Tran.
And I am your time-traveling analyst, Jeremy Evans.
And we're proud to present to you a new show to the In-Game Boss program, where we watch movies that we love, we hate, and that we hadn't seen before.
As we take you on a journey through the present, the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, and further back.
So let us take you back to the future.
We did it!
Yeah, we did it! High five!
No, stop that. Stop that. No. Fallout 76, a game that was released on November 14th, 2018, and since that date and since now, it's been having a bit of a bumpy road. Hell, bumpy road is a bit of a strong, nice way to put it. It's been having hell. You know, we've seen it from the fiasco of the pre-orders with the bag. There has been problems with the game itself. People complaining about with no NPCs, yada yada. There is now news about people reacting to a 276 Fallout 76 jacket that is kind of, weak on it. There was rumors that, Bethesda was going to go free to play, which that was not a good idea because the game's hasn't even been out for 6 months. But I guess what I want to talk about today is it personally time for me to go back into the vault? Is it time for me to leave this world of West Virginia and just go back in the vault and just sit there and wait for something to change, something to be totally different, or just wait for a different thing? Maybe go on a journey to find another vault to go into. I don't know. But I guess looking at it is, I have played this game. I'd probably say I put about maybe like 20 hours in. But the funny part about it is I'm level 40 in Fallout 76, and I've been level 40 for quite a while. And the only time I have been playing it is the last couple times was been twice, playing with John Robles from Area 44, and he was twitching it, and I joined him. So we've been playing it for like the last 2 Fridays, and I'm having fun playing with him, but that's not the problem. The problem was, walking around with him and everything. I'm kind of just looking at everything as like, maybe it's time for me to go back into the vault. I don't know. Should I stay because, my friends are still playing it? Should I stay because maybe something good is coming on the way? Like, there's a P versus P survival mode coming out where like, now this world is free for all. Anyone can kill you at any time. You don't have to like get permission to start a fight or anything like that. There is vaults in this game, but you can't go into those vaults because apparently it's going to be part of a DLC. Is it worth for me to be waiting for this stuff? Should I just go ahead and go back in the vault and wait for that stuff to come, or just don't come out ever again? And I decided that like the way I got to level 40 was I didn't even really do the missions. To this day, I haven't even finished the story. I didn't even like care about going into the story or anything like that. I decided that I would travel around the map and go travel to all these landmarks that are on the map. Basically, whatever picture they're on the map, I would go there and discover it. And to this point, I have not discovered everything on there. I discovered a lot of stuff, but I just haven't discovered like the nick and crannies, little places like that. So I decided to go to these giant landmarks so I can just kind of see what is this world trying to show me. So, I've been to the dead like forest area. I've been through the swamps. I've been through the heavy dead mountains area. I've been through the docks. I've been through the town where the Mothman is. I basically gone through a lot of the areas of this map and just been here and there. I met strangers on the way. I watch like beasts beat each other up. I have been killed by many things. I've been killed by a lot of many things, and there were times where I go through stuff and it was dark and scary. I've been through stuff that's been like, giant battles between scorpions and lizards. It was just a free-for-all, about 100 of them just fighting each other. I have seen robots sit and talk to each other. But it would have been way more exciting to have more NPCs into this mix. because robots giving you missions and stuff is fine. And if you're a type of person that's just mission based and you just want to go and do a mission and not really, interact with NPCs and get to know what this world have to give you, then, that's your thing. Me, from playing Fallout for so long, NPCs were something that I really think that this game needed because, it feels more alive. It feels more alive, no pun intended, to a world that's dead, but it feels more alive that you're playing a game where you're understanding what these people have been going through while you've been in the vault. Yes, the ideal was you're supposed to be the first people out of the vault, and all the not all the NPC, sorry, all the other players running around the map are the other people that have been out of the vault. So those are your first people. But to me, I don't think that was really a good idea. I think that there should have been survivors somehow into this game. I mean, there should be shopkeepers. There should be people still trying to raise farms. I'm fine with the decaying people that look like lava hats hit them and you touch them, they shatter. I'm fine with some of those, but ghouls could have been in there. I don't think everybody would have just straight disappear, and I think following the breadcrumbs was kind of silly to me. But with the NPCs coming into this, it would have made the game feel more welcome. It would have made you feel more about what's going on with the world instead of reading messages all the time. You get to understand that, hey, these people care. They care to try to take care of you. And then you might get some people that are just vicious people. It would have been cool to have your own little AI walking around, like New Vegas having a robot or something like that. That'd have been cool to have a little companion follow you around or something like that. It's funny too because Elder Scrolls Online have it where, yes, you're playing with a bunch of NPCs, bunch of players, and there is NPCs in that game. And some classes get little creatures that follow them around and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, what could Fallout do that? Could Fallout have it where you have to set up you can have little companions and all this stuff? But I always wanted Fallout not to be an online structure like that. I always wanted it to be more of, how about each player has their own world with their own PCs, like a regular Fallout game. And you can have up to 3 people that join you. They leave their world to come to your world, and you guys are just having a blast with what you're doing. It's very limited, and you're just having fun with it. I'd rather have 3 people just join me with a full-blown world with NPCs and all these awesome missions you can do, instead of playing with up to 12, 10 people with nothing but robots and other creatures. Borderlands 2 did it very well because you can just invite friends into your realm and you guys just go on a fun adventure. And Fallout should have done something like that to me. Fallout should have worked their way around that structure. Fallout Online maybe might have sounded good on paper, and granted, they said this is something we've been working for a long time, and I feel like that's kind of half true to me, because when I look at it, it's for people that said they've been working on this and trying to do this, I don't know if this was really the vision that you were trying to do, where you didn't want NPCs and all that stuff. I think that you guys hit a brick wall and you decided that maybe we'll have to strip some stuff down to get this idea out. And just like I said, should I go back in the vault? The game feels like it needs to go back in the vault and really be rebuilt again. Back in the oven, cook a little bit longer, because this game was not meant to be ready yet. And I don't know if it's been rushed. I don't know if they need to push it out. Fallout has been Bethesda's been this company where they're trying to commit what they said they're going to do. Hey, it's coming out this fall. We're going to bring it out fall no matter what. And I think also on top of that, with the glitches and all these other issues happening, I think Bethesda has to really sit back and look at this game and decide that we do not want to make this mistake again with Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. Because think about it, we're not going to get a Fallout for a very, very long time unless they get another company or another developers to come step in and do their Fallout. But we're not going to see a Fallout anytime soon. 76 is what we got, unless you want to go back and relive your classics 3 in New Vegas. And speaking of New Vegas, New Vegas had something in that game that I wish that Fallout 76 had, and I wish it was where you had different groups of people you can be part of, different clubs, different, different cultures, different whatever you want to call, different kind of groups, because that's what made it interesting about New Vegas was you can be part of you can be part of this deadly crazy group, led by Caesar. You could have been part of the NCR, people that are doing the right. You could be part of the caravan crew, delivering stuff. There were so many different branches of people that you could join, and depending who you join and what you do can damage what other groups. Now, am I an expert how to get that all together? No. I can't tell you exactly how that structure would work. I can say it might sound good on paper. I can tell you this might sound like a good idea, but I really wouldn't know until I play the game. Like, maybe I made a mistake. And I don't know if I thought about that. But it would have been interesting to see if they could pull an idea off like that, where you can join a certain group and you're dedicated missions through that person. Elder Scrolls 6 kind of did something similar to that, per se. Destiny kind of does something kind of like that, where, you pick the class that you want to be and you're dedicated to this person giving you these particular missions. So it gives you a chance to kind of dabble in different things with different characters to do stuff. Another thing that I would like to see 76 do a little bit better is the shops, the workshops. They're kind of just there. You have different outfits, different colors for your power armor, fun and toys and all this stuff. But I don't know. I feel like the shop could be a little bit more. I think it's kind of ridiculous that you are paying for different ways to express your feelings or express your players how you feel. I know, for example, I know this is not in the shop, but I don't think I should be paying for any kind of hand wave movement or whatever it is for something like that. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. I think that should be something like either you find in the game. But so during my travels through this whole game, I saw some great things. I saw some not so great things. I seen creatures that surprised me. I saw a giant truck, and inside that truck was a giant crab. That scared the living crap out of me. I have traveled through the far east. Far east of the map, where there's nothing but flying scorch beasts all around. A whole city protected by nothing but robots. I seen a lot of crazy stuff on this journey, and some of these landmarks, even though I discovered them, I haven't even gone in them because I thought, I want to do it with somebody. I want to do it with a buddy, going through this stuff. And even though I thought, hey, maybe I can enjoy this game by myself and see what happens. And one of the things I love about Fallout is wandering around and just seeing what the world's like. Just wander around. Really not take missions as they go. Like if a mission pops up, I'll do a mission, but just wander around. Just walk around, just see where everything is, discover everything, and just see what's out there and get the experience. Literally, get the experience, discovering stuff. And I do like the perk system. The perk system is good. I like the fact that you can switch cards and everything like that. But cards are going to eventually run out for you because there's really, I don't even know if there's a level cap. I mean, I've seen people up to level 150 walking around, and I don't know what's better, or is it really the same of a level cap? If your level cap is 50 and you can't level up anymore, is that a huge difference? Say there's no level cap, but you don't get anything after 50? I don't know. I don't know what to keep you going to keep leveling up if there's no other things you can get out of it. Hell, I mean, if maybe you should, instead of giving experience, if you don't get anything out of it anymore, any experience or any cards about it, why don't you give us fun little gifts? Hey, if you level up, you get this weird weapon. I don't know. I just feel like that. There's so many potential and ideas that Fallout could have been for this particular entry to it. And I think there was just a lot of bad decisions that happened into this. And I wish that Bethesda really kind of set back a little bit and just maybe set this year out and just kind of think about what's better for Fallout in this situation. Because like I said, we're not going to get a new Fallout part anytime soon. So this is what we got. And I think a lot of people might have been heartbroken. I think maybe some people that did like it. If you love Fallout 76 and you love it, good for you. And if you're going to sit and wait for good things to come, great. Me, I don't know. I'm in this limbo right now where it'll be a big decision in probably the next coming month if Fallout 76 is worth pursuing, keep going, and hope for more great stuff to come, or should I just go back into the vault and just kind of chill and just wait for the next apocalypse to come, or maybe just go find another vault in another world, it's funny because last year was the 10-year anniversary of Fallout 3. Because Fallout 3 came out October 28th, 2008. And I wonder what would happen if Fallout 3 got a remade for this generation. Like, picture Fallout 4 gameplay with Fallout 3. Because Fallout 4, the funny thing is, like, I think Fallout 3 is probably the best one, in my opinion. Granted, people are against with New Vegas. Those are the big two heated debates. But Fallout 3 was my favorite, and for two reasons. One, it's my first Fallout, of course, so, you're going to like it regardless. But two, the world was a little bit more structured. There were some really great moments in that game that I think none of the Fallouts have touched on. But Fallout 4 gameplay was so good to me. And that's why, like, Fallout 4 is my favorite, because I have to say the gameplay really convinced me in, and I really like the gameplay in it. But if I can just have Fallout 3 with Fallout 4 gameplay, then I think that'd be the best of both worlds. And Fallout 3 will probably be my favorite, because the only thing I think is missing is just the updates of the controls of what Fallout 3 is. Now people, if you have a debate or you're against me on that, or you think I'm wrong, you can always email me at the ingameoffice@gmail.com, or you can always talk to me on Twitter or Facebook. I do need to work on trying to promote these questions out and everything like that. I've been doing that. I haven't been doing that, so I'm going to try to push that a little bit harder. But I want to hear y'all's opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Should Fallout 76 should have been pulled back a little bit? Should 76 gone to a different kind of structure? Should 76 even be online? Should it be like a Borderlands setup where you can just invite your friends and you guys just enjoy the world that one player is in with all the NPCs and all the stuff that you love about Fallout? Should we just sit and wait and see what Bethesda is going to do to fix the issue? Because to that point, we're getting to the point where I think people are tired of games coming out and waiting for more things to come instead of giving us the whole package. It's a split situation, because, like, if you don't give us enough stuff to play with, then we're gonna put the toy back in the box. We're done with this toy. But if you give us enough where we're excited for more stuff to come, then that's a different story. But 76 didn't do that. 76 tried to push you a huge world with enough stuff to try to carry you over until something else comes along. But the problem is there's a lot of emptiness in it. And that's what it is. It feels like it's you against the world. All these monsters, like, they consider you the first one out there, but if no one else is playing, you're the only one out there. So who do you have left to look up to? Who do you got to talk to? Nobody. And that gets boring. Robot. I mean, for all these robots playing it, why do I not have a robot companion? You know what I mean? I wish that they would just structure that a little bit more. But I'll have to come to the decision of that. So with that, I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. I'm Jeremy Evans. you're a retro activist, aka your in-game boss, and I want to hear your opinions. Tell me what you think Fallout should be. And you can, like I said, you can always email me at the ingameoffice@gmail.com. You can also visit on Twitter and Facebook. You're welcome to come chat with me. Tell me, tell me how the show is. Is it great? Is it not great? What should I do differently? Help me out. Tell me what your thinking is. More great things are coming soon. It's kind of slow right now. A lot of shows are kind of a couple of shows are wrapping up. All this stuff. So with that, I will catch you on the next episode.